Welcome to the Grand Symposium of the Asia Youth International Modern Federation Reupload themed Human Security Agenda in the Globalization World.
In times of peace, children are the ones who bury their parents. However, in times of war, the natural order is disrupted and it is parents who bury their children.
Meanwhile, data from the Ministry of Social Affairs states that in 2016 there were over 56,000 underage children who are working as sex workers.
If we are allowing our countries to be in the safety of other countries, they could do
The
it.
SDGs that we have just changed in 2015 will become the future in 2030.
President voting.
President voting.
Yemen is facing outbreaks of cholera where almost 1 million have been affected.
The United States of America believe that child soldiers are killing the hopes of the children.
Instead of having underdeveloped countries who have food insecurity,
America went in 52 different countries and destroyed 52 different countries.
That's why we.
The government is getting very supportive for these small and medium enterprises.
And from our application, you could meet with many translators.
Many of us is the alumni of IGNG.
So fun.
It's a great event to see you all here, and we'll have fun. Let's rock it! Come on!
So, welcome to all of you to the beautiful of Tokyo. So, I, on behalf of all of the committee and people in charge behind Youth Excursion Tokyo 2019, would like to say thank you very much for spending couple of your beautiful days with us.
Indonesia also has a lot of potential contribution planning strategy in Japan and the policy package.
Things of ours is generate
passion, and hope you're gonna find your question and passion. Your keep moving forward in terms of science.
Can you give some examples about what?
Japan can no longer depend on its
On time, timing, class over the daily challenge. Congratulations, you winning the great meal. Yeah, you can get speech. Thank you, Miss.
You're gonna find your question and passion in your country, and then coming back to Japan. Thank you.
here today, actually, I want to show you a different perspective of how I feel the climate change, that this kind of issue in our world, in our society.
One thing that I truly, truly always want to emphasize are these three words: love, courage, and purpose. I feel love in itself could probably solve every single global issue in the world. Love for people, love for the planet, love for life itself, and all of creation.
We, as human beings, produce gases that are trapped in that atmosphere. The sun produces sunlight and warmth, which is going on the planet, which is shines and giving her temperature to the globe.
So climate change has.
Good morning from Asia!
Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this exciting Saturday. It's me again, Ashifa, and I will be the host for today's inspirational webinar. And I guess many have realized that today I am not alone. Yes, that is right. Today I will be accompanied by my charming friend here to guide today's webinar. Please say hi to Ari.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Asifa, for your compliment today. Hello everyone, I am Ari. As previously said by Asifa, I will be the MC for today's inspirational webinars. And now we're going to say hello to all participants here. Please tell us where are you from in the comment box.
Okay, let's see. We have Indonesia here. Apa kabar?
Hello Indonesia. Now we're going to say hello to Philippines. Hello Philippines.
We have our friends from Brunei too. Apa kabar? And Pakistan. Assalamualaikum.
We have a friend from United States of America. Hello everyone.
And Brazil as well. Okay, and hello to all participants that we cannot mention your country one by one. But we hope you will always be in a good condition. So stay safe and good luck for this webinar.
It's such an honor for us can be here today and lead these inspirational webinars. During yesterday's international virtual event, who watched the live stream surpassed 1,000 people. And this time it turned out that we're already a lot of people watching here. And I'm so excited.
Same here, Ari. I also feel your excitement for this webinar. I hope you're not the only one who's excited. I hope all participants here are also excited to join this webinar until the end, because the material in this webinar will be the question material in the quiz, which will be held tomorrow.
Absolutely right. To all participants here, please pay close attention to today's webinar, and hopefully you will be one of the 10 people selected to get a fully funded leadership trip to South Korea.
First of all, let's thank God who has given us His mercy and blessings so we can attend this program without any problem. Even though we are still in this pandemic situation, we should be confident to fight this with creativity, right, Ari?
Yes, as you guys already know, today we'll talk about communicating with tact and diplomacy, developing effective tact and diplomacy skills. But before we start the presentations from our amazing speaker, we would like to inform you of today's agenda.
The first agenda, we will have presentation from Mr. Siraj Salman, the founder of Torch Group Singapore.
Yes, and after the presentation, we move to the Q&A session. We will have a 10-minute session in which you can ask everything related to the team. Please send your question in the comment box and our admin will choose the best questions.
All right, no need to linger. Let's go straight to the first agenda, which is the presentation from Mr. Siraj Salman.
Hello, Mr. Siraj.
Hi.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak at this event. Very honored.
Thank you very much, sir. What makes you most excited for today?
Thank you. Can't wait to start my sharing.
All right, are you ready for this webinar?
Yes. I really
let's-
hope you guys can learn something from this. And I'm not the expert or the guru over here, but I just want to share a few things on the topic.
All right, let's go to the inspirational webinar to Mr. Siraj Salman. The spotlight is yours.
All right, thank you. When the spotlight is on me, sometimes it shines too bright because of my head. Okay. So let's share my slides now. Okay. All right. So at any point you guys can't hear me or you guys can't see the slides, whatever it is, do share with the organizers and they can tell me so. Okay, so today I'm sharing about communicate with tech and diplomacy, developing effective skills. I was invited by UTEX. Thank you so much for having me here. And also by my former colleague, Diani. She reached out to me to share a few things over here. So definitely, I would love to share with my friends from Indonesia and all around the world if they are watching. I'll go on. Okay, so maybe I just want to share something about myself. So you guys know who is this person who is sharing all this information and whether I'm probably qualified or not to share. So this is my LinkedIn profile. I'm not sure whether you can, okay, so you are going to open the share screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, let me do a new share. All right, so rather than have a slide to put up about my credentials. I think it's just point out to my LinkedIn page. That's my name. That was when before I had lots of stress, I guess. So I had this photo. I got to update it. So well, that's you guys can send a connection to me, and I'll be glad to accept it. Now, so basically, I'm together with a charity, vice presidentry of Jamia Singapore. It's a charity that runs welfare homes, food banks, in Singapore. I do fundraising for them, and it's all about serving the community because I feel a sense of fulfillment doing this work. But at the same time, also, I'm part of a Torch Group, which is an organization that does business matching, remote manpower sourcing, and to develop businesses going into ASEAN. Yeah, so I've been with the Malay Chamber of Commerce and Industry as a membership services manager, and that's where I expanded my networks across businesses. Well, I have a master's degree in mass communication from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. I studied in Singapore the whole time. Didn't have the opportunity to study overseas. Yeah, this one try to upgrade myself as we go along in agile, in Scrum Master, and yeah, so that's me actually. Yeah, nothing much more on that. So yeah, if you guys can you guys want to connect, you can always connect with me through here. All right, so that's me. And before I start sharing, I want you guys to picture a scenario first. Picture a scenario. Probably I give you a minute to read what's on the screen. So in this scenario, one of your brightest team members, brightest, smartest, probably not hardworking, but smart, has lots of ideas. This guy Sham just finished giving a presentation, and he seems pleased with his performance. He seems happy. But it's obvious, you can see it's not properly prepared. The presentation poorly researched. There were errors. There were mistakes in figures, badly organized, and you are actually disappointed by his lack of effort. Now, the keyword over here is before everyone has left the conference room. Sham actually, there, change the name. Sham asked for feedback. How did I go? How did I do? And you tell him that his presentation was sloppy and disorganized, that you had expected better from him. Hey, Sham, wake up your idea. You got to do better. The presentation is sloppy and disorganized. So unsurprisingly, Sham is visibly upset. You can see he's upset, and then you immediately regret your comments. You wanted to be honest, and you actually didn't want to hurt his feelings, especially in front of other people, but you just wanted to be honest at the time. And a month later from there, Sham hands in his resignation. Now, whether Sham hands in his resignation, he resigns because of you, I'm not sure totally. He might be also resigning from other factors. But this is definitely one occasion where he was upset about his job, about you probably. So, now, today, what I'm going to share is how do we write along in this kind of scenarios, these kinds of situations. And these situations always happen in our lives. Okay, so at the same time, I also want to share a video with you, and then I'll go on with my presentation. So just let me toggle back to this thing.
Hello, I'm Priya Gopal, AMA faculty member and executive coach and leadership expert. Sometimes when we communicate with others, we may be completely unaware of how our words and actions are being perceived. The reason might be that we're not communicating in a diplomatic manner. Diplomacy is the subtle, skillful handling of a situation. When you don't speak with diplomacy, it may be easy for others to misconstrue what you're saying. A closely related skill is tact, or consideration in dealing with others and taking care not to offend. You also need to be credible. When others consider you trustworthy, they may be more inclined to hear what you say with an open mind. Here are the 5 actions you can take in order to be viewed as a credible person. First, organize your message. A clear, direct communication opens the door to a positive interaction. Second, repeat your message. This helps to clarify and affirm what you're communicating. Third, use two-way communication. Ask and allow for questions and listen and respond. Fourth, be open and respect others' rights. And fifth, know your audience. Be mindful of their expectations of you and adjust your message in a way that makes you seem more credible. Try and develop all of these diplomacy and tact skills, and you'll be a more successful and appreciated communicator.
Okay, so back to my slides. Okay, tech. Tech and diplomacy are two words that are used intertwined. They are together actually. So I will just share what is tech. Now, tech is the ability for you to tell the truth without hurting others, without offending others. You know, it gives you it allows you to give difficult feedback, but at the same time maintain the relationship. Okay, if you actually can do it well, you can actually improve the relationship also. With these 4 letters, TACT, tech. It's not easy, but it becomes easier with practice. It's a habit actually. It's an attitude. It's the way you speak, the way you talk. Now, why do we need to have tech? Why do we need to have tech? Why do we need to have diplomacy? Is this even useful for us? Well, first of all, tech is important, especially when you need to deliver bad news or to give critical feedback, both in either personal or professional situation. Now, try to imagine, some of us have partners, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, and they usually ask, how do I look like? After going into the fitting room and trying a shirt or a dress. And probably they don't look nice. How do you say to them? There is personal situation. Do you just say, yeah, I think you look fat in this dress? Or you try to rephrase your words? Obviously, those who are married for probably more than a decade tend to be more honest, very honest in their feedback. And forgetting about tech. As humans, we are usually forgetful. After we are so close or so long in a relationship, we tend to forget about tech. But tech is important. Another situation, where I've actually seen myself, in Singapore, we have to serve the army, police, or firefighters, or ambulance. Talking about civil defense. So I served the army, and we had an accident, and there was this time where someone actually died, passed away during an exercise. So imagine how did my officer had to handle the situation and relay the news to the parents of the dead soldier. It's not easy. But that's in a professional situation. How do relate something which cannot be avoided to someone who has just lost someone or something? Next, it also strengthens your reputation, builds your credibility. You will not be seen as this guy who is always grouchy, and always, pointing out mistakes, who is angry, negative. But it strengthens your position. You are that person who can give constructive feedback. You don't really sugarcoat your words, and you're not, but you put it in a nice manner. So that's effort, and people respect that. So with that, you get to preserve your relationships, although you're actually scolding. You're actually pointing out something bad. But it allows you to maintain your credibility, your relationship. Next, and also, it shows your character, your professionalism, your integrity. It also demonstrates good manners. Okay? It gives, people will say, hey, this person is polite. He has good manners. And everywhere around the world, especially in Asia, where mannerisms are very important. Your adat istiadat, your budi bahasa, budi pekerti, very important in this region. When you have that in today's world, you are actually a very valued member. Now, guys, in today's world, there is so many things that computers, technology, artificial intelligence can do better than you and me and everyone else. So many things. They are smarter than us in so many situations. But what they cannot have is tech. That's the differentiating point between you and a digital being. You can have tech. You know when to process and use the tech. TACT, but TECH cannot have the tech. Probably yet. Maybe one day they have. I won't rule that out. So, and tech can also help you avoid conflict. Avoid conflict with people. You get to find common ground. You allow others to save face means to, like just now, Sham, you do not embarrass others inadvertently by being honest. They at least they don't get to be embarrassed, and that's very important. When people are embarrassed, they get very vile, hostile, and negative towards you because you embarrass them. So this is a very important asset, especially negotiations, crisis management, conflict resolution. Tech is very important. Now, I guess you can post your questions at any point of time. Later there'll be a Q&A session, or you can always ask those questions. Okay, so I really value any feedback, any questions. Do highlight to them, and I'll address it after the webinar. Okay, but after saying all this, how should we be tactful? First of all, you need to create the right environment and think before you speak. How to do that? Now, I ask you a question. How many times have you spoken too quickly and then regretted it? Oh no. The person also don't understand your message. Like just now, there was the lady, the expert just now was saying, clear messaging. Now, First of all, you got to practice active listening when others are speaking. When other people are speaking, you listen well, so you can comprehend their message. You can comprehend what they mean beyond their message. Then you use empathy and emotional intelligence to connect with people and to see things from their perspective. Switch shoes, switch your glasses, you know. Understand why do people do that? You know, why? What's the reason? What could be the reason behind his behavior? And then you got to build trust. So people know that your intentions are honest and compassionate. When people can trust you, they are more free. They are more open to discuss matters with you. From my chart, the next one, determine the appropriate time. Timing is very important. Okay, timing is very important. I give you a scenario. So your colleague has just found out that they will be laid off at the end of the year. They're being retrenched, they're being sacked, terminated. While your boss had just told you that you are being promoted. Opposite end, maybe you're super good, super efficient. It's now the best time to talk about your good news. Yay, hey guys, everyone lost their jobs or might even lose their jobs. And you're like, yes, I got promoted. So happy. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. But it lacks or it doesn't have tech. Okay? So tech also means you're saying the right thing at the right time. Consider your situation before you speak and be discreet. Make sure you stay conscious of who you are with and where you are before you speak. Guys, in life, you must be someone who can speak to a member of the public and also a minister. If you can relate to both of them, you'll be successful. Okay? Choose your words carefully. The third one, the third step. Choose your words carefully. Your choice of words can influence how others perceive your message. Avoid starting sentences with the word you. For example, you need to do better next time. You said that you need to do better next time. Now, when you do that, the other person feels defensive. Hey, why you say that? Who are you to say that? What gives you the right to say that? He puts up a wall and you can't penetrate it already. Instead, you should try to use softer, more indirect language like, next time, I think your presentation will be stronger if you spend more time on research. So you give a suggestion. Now, and you are also saying that presentation is quite good. It can be stronger. It's especially important to use I statements during conflict. When you give constructive criticism, so you are not criticizing him, but you say from your own view. Example, I see, rather than say, I see it differently. I don't agree with you, I see it differently. You probably can say, I had to go over that section several times before I understood your message. By saying that, I already tell you your message is unclear, actually. That's why I must go through 2 times. At the same time, you can also use a cushion or connecting statement when you disagree with someone. For example, you can cushion the message. You're wrong. Our team did well last quarter. When you say that, you are wrong. Our team did well last quarter. Again, people become defensive. You can use actually, I appreciate your opinion. I thank you for your opinion. But our team did well last quarter. You need to thank him. You need to appreciate it because when people don't give feedback, people don't give any opinion, you will not improve. You will just stay same line. Also try to do not talk a lot. That's also another method, whereby when you're in a tense conversation, be sharp, be simple, be concise. I know it's always nice to keep on talking, especially when you feel uncomfortable, you keep on talking. But when you say too much, you will regret it later on. Be honest, assertive, and only say what you need to say. That's all. Be objective. Finally, watch your body language. Very important. People don't see that. I mean, people don't, the person doing it don't realize it, but other people can see it. They're like, the roll eyes, the lips, pursed lips, the shake head, the slap head, the crush forehead, you know, things like this are signals that people can detect from you. Negative signals. Even when there is a meeting and people are talking and you just want to focus, people can realize when you are not there with them. You're actually doing another thing, replying an email, doing something else in a meeting. And people can realize that, and that lacks tact. So, for example, your boss just told you your sales figures are fine, but as they speak, they avoid your gaze and fold their arms around their chest. Although your manager's words are neutral, their body language will make you question the message. But when you're tactful, your body language matches your message. You appear open when you're communicating, even if you're giving bad news. Make eye contact. Don't cross your arms and legs. Don't point, and practice good posture. Open body language and a courteous vocal tone communicate your truthfulness and willingness to work together. It makes you more approachable. All right. So these are the 4 key areas where you can actually improve your tech. Now, because I've heard from the organizers, there's a lot of audience in the webinar, and there's a good crowd. But so I will add in one more. Okay, I'll add in one more. I don't know whether I got enough time. I'll try to squeeze everything in. But never also react emotionally. Put your emotions at the door. Okay? How to do that? Deep breathing, or else leave the situation, say it politely, excuse yourself, and go for a walk. Go and sort out your feelings first. And then re-enter the situation. Because if you keep emotional in a situation like this, it will be a disaster. It will be a disaster. And you will regret it. Okay. Diplomacy and tech is different around the world. And you need to understand that. You need to understand that. How the West is, the Americans, the Europeans, how do the Asians react? The same message, the same line. It could be interpreted differently. Even cultures, very important for you to understand first. So when you are at a new place, talk less, listen more, observe most. Okay? You need to understand their practice and their culture before you come in and practice tech. For example, in Indonesia, I visited Indonesia a lot of times for my work. I've been to Jakarta, Bali, Bekasi, Pulau Belitung, a few others. Sumatra, Medan for sure. That's where we have different cultures. Although we can be Malays, we can be Javanese, but we have different cultures. In Singapore, people tend to be just straight cut, straight to the point, get the message out. I don't really care about your feelings. We need to get the job done. We need to earn money. Very straight cut. No feelings, no time for feelings. The only person who's probably similar to us are probably the Hong Kong guys in Asia. But in Indonesia, Malaysia, even China, it's all about relationship, right? People will invite you to their house for dinner. People will invite you to a coffee. And here we are, as a Singaporean, we just want to talk about business and get the deal done, but it's not possible. The Indonesians want to have hospitality first. At the same time, understand us better. So you got to be tactful, right? And these things could drag till late at night, and you can't just yawn and show your disinterest. If you want to do business, you want to have a relationship with these people, you have to accommodate. That is tech. All right. So again, understand each country's culture, the way they talk. Like if you are in Europe, you are in US, and you want to give an idea and you mumble it, you're like shy, and you say sorry and sorry. No, it doesn't work that way. They don't understand it. What's wrong with you? Just tell us your idea. Just be straight. That's how they are. So you've got to understand both ways. Okay. So in our daily situation, you will actually face a few things, like letting team members go, giving feedback, declining an invitation, or deflecting gossip. So I'm just going to do a quick one so that we can have time for Q&A. So for letting team members go, okay, all right. So basically, guys, these are situations that you guys are facing, will face in your daily life. So practice tech in these situations, and then you will see a more successful, more open relationships coming in. Okay, I've got a few scenarios, but I just want to end off with this timeline. How can I have tech? When will I have tech? The timeline is long. It's a journey. It's as you go along. It's like starts from today, day 1, week 2, month 3, and even to the point of year 4. You will continuously need to cultivate tech. It always gets different. There's always different topics to practice tech. I can't say, what is all this TikTok? During my time, we are on Friendster. We give testimonials, and that's fun. TikTok is just so boring. Or it's just all crappy news. It's not right. I can't say that. I got to be more thankful about TikTok. Especially when I speak to younger audience. Younger people, they love TikTok. So I am more open. Yes, it has its negative sides, but I think TikTok can also relay important messages around the world. So that's how I'm also still practicing tech, still learning the various ways to practice diplomacy across the world. All right, so that's me. That's our company, Torch Group. If you want to, you can catch us on Instagram. We've got Loka Bakat, which actually matches young people to companies in Singapore for remote manpower. Torchgroup.id, that's our Indonesian Instagram. So that's me and the organization. And thank you so much for being an effective audience. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Siraj Salman for the insightful presentation. And thank you so much for mentioning the importance of communication in a diplomatic way by choosing our words carefully and pay attention to body language as well. I bet so many of the audience can find it very interesting and very useful, right, Ari?
Yes, we learned so much about developing effective in this webinar. make eye contact and body language. And when we have an ideas in international stage, we just need to go straight about what we want to say and just be brave. That's the point from the Mr. Siraj Salman. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope from this presentation our participants will get a great knowledge from their future. Once again, thank you, Mr. Siraj Salman.
Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, we are now on our last agenda, which is the Q&A session. While waiting for the admin to choose the question, let's watch the video from the International Global Network. Check this out.
The wait is over. Are you ready to expand your connections with other 500 plus youth from all around the world and start to improve your soft skills massively? And when you thought it ends there, this event will be held in Bangkok, Thailand. Yes, you hear it right. Join the biggest youth conference.
All right, the admin has finished choosing questions. So allow us to read the first question.
Yup, we're going to the first question, and it's come from Jing 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 Jing. Yeah, Ashifa, I'm so excited for the first question.
And we will have 3 questions here for Mr. Sarish Salman. I'm very excited to see the comments and how the audience type their excitement in the chat box.
Yes, because we have a great theme today, how to developing skills.
And it's not only useful for the audience too, but for us as well as hosts, we find it very inspiring and very useful for us. Because as you know, as a host, we also need to learn more about communication, and to communicate in a diplomatic way is very useful for all of us, not only hosts, but also the audience, especially students, right, Ari?
Yes, they're gonna learn so much from this webinar. All right. Okay, what's the point that you learned so much from this webinar, Shifa?
I learned during the last presentation that Mr. Sarish also mentioned about when you're in another country, we should communicate based on their culture as well.
Yeah.
So maybe some of the audience already familiar with these proverbs, English proverbs. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Okay, here's the first question. Allow us to read the first question. How to communicate with someone who doesn't want to find a common ground or isn't interested in a useful conversation? Please, Mr. Siraj Salman.
Okay, actually to help with that, the operator also typed the question inside the chat actually. But okay, can you repeat the question again? Because it's not very clear. How do we communicate if the person doesn't want to communicate to you? Is it?
Allow me to continue the first question. How to communicate with someone who doesn't want to find a common ground or is not interested in a useful conversation?
Okay, all right. What I heard was like something, how do you communicate if someone is not interested in the conversation, something along those lines. Okay, so first of all, there's always a why. Why does he not want to communicate with you? Is it you or is it thanks. This really helps actually. So okay. So how can I be tactful with someone who's not physically in the room with me? I ask this because texts and calls don't allow people to show emotions and empathy in the right way. What can I do then? Okay. Okay, so when It's definitely slightly harder with text messages, and a lot of times communication is distorted when it comes to text. Uh, but you guys now have emoticons, right? You know, the emoticons, the stickers and stuff like that. I think that's quite cool. But I would say when in this manner, you would have to um, first of all look at how you can relate with them in a common issue. You know, give people first of all space. Like for example, do not spam people with messages. Like do not do very long messages because people don't really want to read that long messages. Be sharp, be concise, and do not also give like when you spam you like hi, and then the person say hi, how are you? No, let's not waste time with these messages. So it can be like a short paragraph, 2, 3 lines, but show your message from there. And at the same time, in your message, be honest. Be honest in a way whereby you actually do not want to disturb them, but you actually want to know about something. You want to show something, you want to inform them about something. So that's how you can actually be tactful with them. Yeah. And also timing. When you're not physically with them, timing of text messages. Do not text people after 8 p.m., if it's because of work. And if it's personal, do not text during office hours and expect a reply. Okay. Do not text in the middle of the night. They might be busy with their family or just resting. See, these are the small things that you've got to be mindful. And you might think that it is, say, for example, you got to be mindful. So if you're talking to a Muslim about prayer times, and if you're away, like you got a friend in Canada, in US, you need to know time zones. So these are a few things that you got to be mindful. And if, let's say, for example, you are in Indonesia and you care to message your friend, now in Canada it's like 12:50 a.m. It's at night, middle of the night. If you ever message, you say good night. Example, things like this. Hey, my friend is in Indonesia, but he bothered to know what time zone I'm in and to tell and to say a greeting on that. So that's nice. That's how you show your tech in that matter. I hope I answered your question. Back to the host.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Siraj Salman for the answer. Thank you for mentioning that we need to have manner as well to communicate, right, Ari?
Just be honest, as Mr. Siraj
Okay.
said, and say what we want to say. And also choose a good time, right, Mr. Siraj?
Okay, sure. I'll just go on with the next question. I know you guys could be strapped for time also.
All right.
Uh, how to communicate with someone who doesn't want to find a common ground or isn't interested in a useful conversation? How to know someone who doesn't want to find. Ah, so I think for this, I don't need to communicate with that person. That's being blunt. But if you to be tactful with this person, you need to understand why he does these things. Is there a bigger picture than just you or the message? Is he bothered by something else? Is he distracted by something else? So when you understand why is he reacting that way, then it is better. Again, I would say give people space, give people time to digest information. And then if you can do background research on them, not to spy or bug their telephone calls or things like that. But you can, if it's a public figure, if it's a friend, or you can check out their Instagram, their social media, and then probably something that they like. They like a particular football team. I like Chelsea Football Club. So, so probably you can, when there's a big match or when there is a particular player who is injured, you can you can probably share that information with me, and I'll be like, hey, wow, okay, you take the effort to come up with a topic that has similar interests, you know. Now there is always something useful for someone. There cannot be, you know, anything, nothing is useful for that particular person. So what's useful for him? No, there must be something. Is it food? Is it no? You need to find it, and then you can actually get through him in that manner. Yeah, but expect rejections, you know. But people do value perseverance if it is shown in appropriate frequent timing. Like, you know, you don't do every day. You do probably once a week, once a month. You know? Yeah, I think from there, inshallah, you will have common ground and useful conversations. Next, is there a next?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Siraj Salman. Now we jump to the next question, please.
Okay, okay. All right, so I hope you guys can hear me well, because I really can't hear much from the host. So if they are talking and I'm just talking, I'm so sorry. I'm not being um, untactful. I'm just trying my best. So in terms of technology and social media, how would you personally handle cancel culture if it happened to you? How to take up accountability? Uh, okay, I will be truthful. I'm assuming cancel culture is the culture of canceling appointments, meetings, at the last minute. Okay, so in that manner, oh wait, no, cancel culture is not that.
Mr. Siraj Salman, allow me
Okay, I got
to.
it.
Okay.
That's the power of Google. So cancel culture, you're being left out on social media, or you are being cyber bullied. That's what they mentioned. That's on Wikipedia at least. Okay, so uh, now if you have that, rise above that, rise above it. In technology, in social media, you can be a different person. You know, you if there is someone who, I mean, who cancel me out, like, for example, it doesn't really matter for me, but I got to maintain my tag. I'm not gonna do a whole social media war. You know, you comment, I comment, you post, I post, I post something that like, you know, imply that you hurt me. You know, things like this. All these are unprofessional. You know, you're being like small kids, really, guys. You know, you have to rise above it. You know what? I look at this. I look at the UTEX. I look at International Global Network. You guys are like the youth leaders, the leaders of tomorrow, you know. So when we have cancel culture, when there is these things happening, it's for you to still maintain. First of all, do a reflection. Do a reflection and check, why do you think people are canceling you out or are shunning you out? What is the reason? And if you can find the reason, can identify the reason, work on it and see, first of all, is it valid? If it's valid, work on it, try to be a better person. If it's not, you know, then maintain what you are, who you are, continue to be a good person. You know, when people can see that it doesn't affect you, you know, it doesn't matter, you still go on with your life, with your desires, your course, your direction, people will respect you, and you will see other people who will invite you into their circles. So that's my take on this cancel culture. Yeah. Again, guys, if there are more questions or if I did not answer you as much as you wanted, you can always connect me on LinkedIn and drop me a note over there. Yeah.
That's very cool, sir. All right, we jump to the
Yeah,
last
thank you
question.
guys, for the questions. Thank you to the host, yeah, I appreciate this webinar and this whole sharing session. I'm so sorry, I think it could be my audio. See, that's tech, that's tech. I could have said, your audio, I cannot hear it. Oh, no, it's bad. No, you say, I think it's mine. Probably I should upgrade to AirPods. But yeah, so the audio can be improved somehow. So that's how tech is. You don't say you. It's together.
All right, thank you so
All
much,
right.
Mr. Suraj Salman, for the answer and all inspirational message for our participants here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to Mr. Siraj Salman. I'm very sad to announce that we are at the end of the event. But before I end this webinar, I want to remind all UTech's Future Leaders 2023 participants that we still have another webinar session with Dr. Geofakta on 1 p.m. Bangkok's time. Make sure you follow the entire series of webinars because the quiz question that determine the 10 best participants who will get a fully funded leadership trip to South Korea will revert to 3 webinars on 29 and 30 October.
Wow. On behalf of the host and the committee and the entire UTech's Future Leaders 2023 committee, say goodbye. And sorry if there are any mini shortcomings, so goodbye, bye-bye, and good luck.
Cheers.
Have a great day.
Delegates from 79 countries all over the world, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grand Symposium of the Asia Youth International Model Federation IUMOD themed Human Security Agenda in the Globalization World.
In times of peace, children are the ones who bury their parents. However, in times of war, the natural order is disrupted and it is parents who bury their children.
Meanwhile, data from the Ministry of Social Affairs states that in 2016 there were over 56,000 underage children who are working as sex workers.
If we are allowing our countries to be in the safety of other countries, they could do
The SDGs that we have just changed in 2015 will become the future in 2030.
President voting. President and voting.
Yemen is facing outbreaks of cholera where almost 1 million have been affected.
The States of America believe that child soldiers are killing the hopes of the children.
Instead of having underdeveloped countries who have food insecurity,
America went in 52 different countries and destroyed 52 different countries.
that's why we.
The government is getting very supportive for these small and medium enterprises.
And from our application, you could meet with many translators.
Many of us is the alumni of IGND batch.
So fun!
It's a great event to see you all here, and we'll have fun. And let's rock it! Come on!
So, welcome to all of you to the beautiful of Tokyo. So, I, on behalf of all of the committee and people in charge behind Youth Excursion Tokyo 2019, would like to say thank you very much for spending couple of your beautiful days with us.